This video is sponsored by Grammarly. Okay, so I've been in school for a very long time. Like many of you, I started school when I was 5 years old, and on my last day of school, when I graduated from medical school, I was 28 years old. I had 3 degrees, and I had basically spent 23 years of my life in school. When people hear this about me, they like to ask,
why the hell did you do that?
And I cover that in this video here. But the other question they like to ask is, what tips do you have for becoming a better student? So in this video, I'm gonna be sharing 3 rules that will help you dominate school. They were inspired by Cal Newport, one of my favorite authors of all time. And these 3 rules are going to be the most important study advice you'll ever hear. So the first rule is always be quizzing. Quizzing is short for active recall. I guess the law should be called always be active recalling, but it just doesn't roll off the tongue that well, so it's gonna be always be quizzing. Active recall is basically quizzing yourself, seeing how well you know something from memory. You can ask questions and attempt to answer, or you can try to teach or explain concepts in full, complete sentences without looking at any notes. You're actively trying to explain and synthesize and understand information straight from your memory. It's difficult to do, but this is what learning feels like, and this is how learning actually happens. I'm sure many of you know that active recall is the best way to learn. There's been plenty of research comparing it to dozens of other study methods, and active recall just always comes out on top. And if you ask me, active recall is the only thing that matters. I'm not gonna go into detail about how to use active recall because I've already done that right here. Not only that, active recall saves you a lot of time. It takes a lot less time to sit down and do active recall on a concept than it does to reread that same concept 8, 9, 10 times over, hoping that it'll stick. So forget summarizing your notes, forget highlighting, forget even studying at all. Like, what does the word studying even mean anyway? Like, when you say, I'm studying, what exactly are you doing? The only thing that matters is active recall. The only thing you should be doing is active recall.
And as you're getting back into the groove of school with active recall, you're also going to want to download Grammarly. Grammarly is your digital writing assistant. It's an all-in-one tool that improves your productivity, triple checks your work, and saves you time when working on multiple assignments. It's completely free to download and integrate as a browser extension in Chrome, Safari, Firefox, and basically works anywhere you type, like Google Docs or even in RemNote, since I know you're making those flashcards for active recall. Even the free features are incredible. You can set your own writing goals, track your word count, and even find new words to replace your overused ones using the synonym feature. I personally love using Grammarly to write our weekly newsletter, Mood and Mind. It just saves so much time during those busy weeks in the hospital. And as I'm in the midst of applying for residency right now, wish me luck, Grammarly has again been a lifesaver with my application and helping me write my personal statement and CV. It just puts me at ease when I'm working, knowing I have a guardian angel watching over my writing all the time. So with back to school season coming, make sure you're prepared with tools like Grammarly. Go to grammarly.com/MikeandMatty to sign up for a free account. And if you want to make use of those extra features, upgrade to Grammarly Premium for 20% off to save time and work more efficiently.
The second rule is have a plan or plan to procrastinate. This rule is all about how to avoid procrastination. See, the science behind procrastination is pretty simple. It's basically you trying to persuade your brain to do something. Your brain is like a dog, okay? If you propose something that's fun, like going for a walk or playing fetch, then your dog is going to get pumped up, excited, and most importantly, motivated. Okay, your brain is going to think, yes, that makes sense, and your brain is going to release chemicals to motivate you to carry out that plan. If you propose something that's not so fun, like taking a bath or going to the vet, then your dog is going to think that that plan sucks, okay? So to avoid procrastination, you have to persuade your brain with a good plan that makes sense. So the same goes for studying or doing any kind of work. If you tell your brain,
I need to pull an all-nighter and study the hell out of my chemistry textbook,
that sounds like a pretty sucky plan, and it's really vague. Of course you're gonna procrastinate. But if you say, I'm gonna go to the library, I'm gonna do active recall on chapters 3, 4, and 5 for 2 hours, then go home and get some sleep and have energy for tomorrow, That sounds like a good plan. Your brain is going to bless you with motivation and you're gonna get it done. And the third rule is do less and do better. My freshman year in college, I took 19 units. In the US, that's a lot. Okay, I was excited to hit the ground running. I'd packed my schedule and I joined 3 clubs and my hands were full. Okay, I felt like my life was just constantly rush hour. Right when I finished my homework for one class, I'd have to think about the next one and run off to the next. I was getting pretty burnt out. So what did I decide to do? I took 21 units during my sophomore year. It was a bad year. I had to sacrifice everything, friends, family, hobbies, relationships, just to keep my grades. It didn't work, okay? It was not sustainable. I felt like crap. I didn't want to learn anymore, and I hated school. But then, the best thing happened to me during my junior year, during my 3rd year in college. My counselor told me that I had so many AP credits carry over from high school that I could practically graduate at that point. And I wasn't allowed to take more than like 12 to 14 units. So what did I do? I did less and I felt better. I took about 12 units a year after that, maybe about 1 to 2 difficult classes and the rest more laid back. And this completely changed my life. I was able to actually immerse myself in my work and appreciate what I was learning. I wasn't constantly running to the next thing. I rediscovered my passion for science and medicine. And when I interviewed for medical schools, it really showed that I loved what I was doing. I think that had I interviewed when I was all stressed and burnt out, I probably wouldn't have gotten into medical school. But the biggest change for me was that I didn't hate school anymore. Before, I hated school so much that it just caused me to procrastinate on everything. Nothing was fun, and I had no motivation. But when I did less, I had time to breathe, I had time to exercise, to eat healthy, I had time for relationships. Procrastination never really became an issue, and I was able to find fulfillment not just in school, but across the board in all areas of my life. So now, let's see if we can recall the 3 rules to dominate school. Go ahead, pause the video, try to recall it, try not to peek, and while you're at it, help me out by giving this video a like. All right, my friends, I hope that you always be quizzing, have a plan or plan to procrastinate, and do less, do better.